Good afternoon and welcome to the 40 Leaders Alumnus of the Year celebration. Thank you for joining us. 27 years ago, Peoria Magazines created 40 Leaders Under 40 as a way to recognize and celebrate the young emerging talent in our region. Each year, 40 individuals are selected from various fields and areas of interest, but all of them are united in passion for their community, where their work and volunteer efforts are making a critical difference. There are now more than 1,000 alumni of this program. 6 years ago, we launched the Alumnus of the Year Award to recognize previous 40 Leaders Under 40 recipients who have continued to make a strong impact on the community. We would usually recognize them at our annual alumni social, but as you know, 2020 has upended all of our plans. While we were unable to host the social this year, we did not want to miss the opportunity to recognize this year's Alumnus of the Year, Carol Merna. Carol began serving as CEO of the Center for Prevention of Abuse in 2015, guiding its mission to help all men, women, and children live peaceful lives free from violence and abuse. She successfully led the organization through the state of Illinois' longest budget impasse while increasing its fundraising revenue. She has strengthened the center's relationships with elected officials and policymakers and created a brand new department dedicated to serving the victims of human trafficking. This year, Carol has guided the center through the COVID-19 pandemic, which has increased the need for specialized social services at a time when traditional fundraising has been extraordinarily difficult. Under her direction, the center has explored new ways to address community and client needs while ensuring its staff remains available to assist anyone who is in danger or in need of shelter or crisis intervention. Prior to this role, Carol served the people of the 18th Congressional District for more than 25 years, overseeing constituent and community service operations for 3 members of Congress. She was originally hired for this position by none other than Ray LaHood, who was then Chief of Staff to Congressman Bob Michel. I would like to welcome the former Transportation Secretary and Congressman Ray LaHood to say a few words about Carol Merna, our 2020 40 Leaders Alumnus of the Year. Ray?
Thank you, John. And also a big thank you to you and May and your mother, Jan, for the extraordinary work that you all do in our community to keep people informed about what's going on and go in depth on different activities and different programs and different people. This 40 Leaders Under 40 is a recognition, as you said, of leaders from all over our community who contribute so much in their volunteer time to make our community a better place. And I can think of no one really better to honor as your Alumnus of the Year than Carol Merna. I have known Carol for more than 25 years. As you said, John, I hired Carol to come to work in Congressman Bob Michel's district office in Peoria. And she started out really helping people cut through bureaucracy, cut through red tape, cut through a lot of aggravation, and really get the kind of benefits that they were seeking. And she has gone from way back 20, 25, 26, 27 years ago to helping people in that job to where she became the office manager for our Peoria operation, and then went on not only to serve 3 congressmen, but went on to become the executive director for the Center for Prevention of Abuse. I really think Carol's most crowning achievements in all the work that she's done and all the people that she has helped is number one, she has a big, big, big heart. And what I mean by that is she cares about people. And she cares about people of all ages, in all walks of life, and really cares to the extent that she will do whatever it takes to help people get through their trials and tribulations, and does it with the kind of beauty of the heart and beauty of her personality that makes people feel like they're the most important people on the planet. But I think, again, her most crowning achievement is the way that she mentored so many young people who wanted to work in our congressional office, who wanted to see what politics was like, who wanted to see what public service was like. And she mentored them to the extent that many of those people are now serving in legislative positions, elected positions, appointed positions in our community, in leadership all over Central Illinois. And that would not have happened if Carol hadn't really taken these young people under her wing and taught them how to do business, how the business of government works, how the business of taking care of people works. And she just, because of all of that work, she now is the executive director of the Center for Prevention of Abuse, helping the most vulnerable people in our community, men and women and children who are afflicted by the kind of worst activity and behavior, and really helping people patch up their lives, really helping people get to the next level of relationships, really helping people get to the point in their lives where they can survive and live and really benefit from relationships, from friends and family. And she's got a whole team of people that help her, but without her leadership, the Center for Prevention of Abuse would not be the organization that it is. And the culmination of that is this weekend, and I was going to encourage people to buy a duck because the duck race is going on this weekend, but was told by Carol that it's all sold out. And again, that goes to the leadership of Carol and her team. People want to contribute to an organization that's making a difference in our fellow citizens' lives. And Carol has done an extraordinary job touching so many lives, improving so many lives, improving the quality of life for so many people. So, Carol, congratulations. I can't think of anybody better. You're the best.
Thank you, Ray. What a joy for you to have made time to be with us this afternoon. I know that you don't necessarily want to hear this, but best boss ever. So thank you for that. I learned more about leadership during my time with you than any other time, watching you and how you interact with people. So my heart is full. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray and Carol. And it's fitting, Ray, that you were able to join us because we actually have a personal connection here because I first met Carol when I was an intern for Ray in Washington, D.C. Back in the summer of 1998. So the two of you were kind of some of my first bosses as
Sure.
well. Carol, I'll never forget your genuine warmth and friendliness. You were so welcoming as I kind of stepped out into a new city for the first time and the hubbub of Washington. So thank you for that.
Yeah, well, interns are so very important, and I learned that from experience. So I'm grateful to still be in touch with so many, including you.
And so you actually started as an intern yourself for a congressman at age 16, I believe.
I did, yeah.
How did you land an internship at the age of 16?
Oh my goodness, I'll be completely honest with you. It was pure nepotism, which is not a bad thing because it created an opportunity. So in the summer of my 16th year, and it was 1981, and Ronald Reagan was in the White House, and my big brother, who Ray knows, was working as a press secretary in Washington, D.C. for a member of Congress from Indiana. And he asked if I wanted to come stay with him for the summer. And I had the great fortune of being able to spend half the summer in Washington, D.C., which was really cool, but half the summer in South Bend, Indiana, which was where his district office was located. And I actually had my eureka moment. It's what I call it, at the age of 16, working in that district office. And I knew that's what I wanted to do. I had an experience being able to watch a congressional caseworker and the impact that she had on people. I remember most vividly an elderly couple coming in with a battered old grocery bag full of Medicare communication and medical bills. And they were desperate, and at the end of their rope, they were sad. And she didn't rush them. She greeted them. She made them feel like, I'm going to help you. And therefore, it made them feel that the congressman was being helpful to them, which was her purpose there. And by the time that they left, they were changed people. And being able to see that time and time again, it had a big impact on me. And as much fun as I had in Washington, D.C., hanging out with people that were 10 years older than I am in that fabulous city, seeing that and having that feeling led me to the path. I believe things happen for a reason. And I believe that that was an opportunity given to me that allowed me, it cut a path for me to head in that direction.
I love how we're kind of coming full circle on these things because you received mentorship and lessons over the years, but then you also have passed that on. And I believe it was the Violence Against Women Act that was the primary funder of the center. Is that correct? And
it's one of many. And I remember speaking to Martha on a number of occasions when Ray was in the congressional office and at the helm, and being able to help be a part of those conversations to some degree about the importance of the Violence Against Women Act was something that also had a big impact on me. Martha Herm is a remarkable woman. She was at the Center for Prevention of Abuse as the executive director the same number of years I was in the congressional office. So our paths crossed a lot. And I really had a great respect, not only for her as a person, but the work that she did to help all people live free from violence and abuse just cannot be equaled anywhere else in the community. It's important work.
Absolutely. You had big shoes to fill, and you've filled them well. And Martha, if you're out there watching, we all love you. And so you won the 40 Leaders Under 40 Award in 1996.
Yeah.
That was our third annual class. What do you recall about receiving the award that evening?
I remember one, that it was a surprise. Ray LaHood and Mary Alice Erickson both nominated me. And once it was made known that I was part of that class, I was really surprised. 96 was a great year. I graduated from the Chamber of Commerce Community Leadership School, which also had a huge impact in my life, very positive. I chaired Make a Difference Day for the Heart of Illinois United Way, which at the age of 30 was something that was kind of new to me, even though I'd been involved in some other initiatives. But then I was also part of this third class of 40 Leaders Under 40. Their ceremony was very impactful. It was a really big deal. I was there with my husband, Tim. I remember walking to the stage in high heels, which I would never do again. I remember that my great friend, who we're still great friends today, Brad McMillan, was right next to me alphabetically. And you can see us in that picture from that many years ago. And oddly enough, it seems like forever ago, but it doesn't. I still have the suit that I wore that night. So it was a long time ago, but it really was, when I talk about opportunity and believing things happen for a reason, it was one of those opportunities that it's a touchstone, but it's also a cornerstone of things that led me to do other leadership opportunities. It gave me the confidence that I needed to be able to say, I can do this. I write letters and have for a number of years, to congratulatory letters to all the recipients of the 40 Leaders Under 40, because I remember all the letters that I got and what a difference they made to me, whether it was from Mayor Maloof, whether it was from Diane Oberhelman. It was all these really important people that I saw come in and out of the congressional office and in the community and in the news. And for them to take the time to say, congratulations, you're important, that was awesome. And I think it's important for all of us to continue to do that now.
Absolutely. And that reminds me of a nugget of wisdom, I believe, from Ray LaHood, which is the most important thing to do for your community is to show up. and that is to be there, to be a part of things. And that it is really, really important. And I've heard from other people who've gotten those letters in recent years, and how that has been meaningful to them. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Center for Prevention of Abuse,
Sure.
and its mission. And of course, COVID-19 has been a cataclysmic event that no one expected. Can you tell me about how the pandemic has affected the center and the clients that you serve?
You bet. It's really at the center, it's been a pandemic within a pandemic. We're all essential workers. We have a staff of now over 125 in 6 different locations, and we have not stopped operation in any way during this health crisis. It was really important for us to be engaged, and we have, quite frankly, a really good team of superheroes that have stepped up during a time that has been very scary. To be able to maintain 2 emergency shelters and be available to people during a time when we saw stunning increases in the number of domestic violence arrests. There were some days you'd look at the arrest report and 100% of the arrests had to do with domestic violence or aggravated domestic violence. Really alarming. But we know that during times of crisis that violence, it exacerbates. So domestic violence was really happening across the board, and people were quarantined with their abusers. And while we support absolutely social distancing and that type of isolation that was needed, those are tools of an abuser. So they really took advantage of it to escalate their power. And people couldn't find the space they needed to be able to seek help. So when people started being able to return to work, then we were starting to see even more people. Calls remained steady to our crisis hotline that's available 24 hours a day. But we have seen the effects of the pandemic at the center. And we were never more proud than to be boots on the ground, to be able to care for people when they needed us most.
Right, absolutely. To say that your staff are essential workers is quite an understatement. And we want to make sure that we thank everyone that's involved with the center, all of the staff, as well as the volunteers and everyone who raises funds for this hugely critical service. What are the center's biggest needs and priorities right now, and how can people help?
I actually have a lot of conversation with staff, whether it's 2-dimensional this way or when we can on the phone, and we've been separated a lot. And from an internal viewpoint, it's really important for us to foster our wonderful culture that we've had from within. And that reflects in everything that we do in the community, whether it's from an empathy standpoint or the love that we express for the people that we care for. So we need the community's buy-in. We need their endorsement. We need their support. And I'm not just talking financial, but even though that's critically important, but we need their good faith, their confidence, and their encouragement to be able to have long-term gain. It's really important that we're in this work together. We spend a lot of time trying to educate people, so we try to stop abuse before it starts. And it may sound a little cheesy to say that we try to put ourselves out of business, but we have to have the community's involvement to be able to accept the trainings that we do for human trafficking or elder abuse or sexual harassment prevention, or through our prevention education department, whether it's child sex abuse prevention or any of the topics under social and emotional learning about healthy relationships and avoiding violence. So we want people to seek us out for those types of things, in addition to if they themselves or their friends or their neighbors or their colleagues need us for the other type of care, which is all free and confidential. So the community's involvement with us is super important.
Absolutely. And these are very tough times for everyone. So we all need to have a little bit of patience and love for each other, and come together as a community, like you said, and support the center and the other nonprofits that are out there doing this hard work. Carol, I want to thank you so much. You've been a tireless volunteer and community leader and visionary and mentor. And I want to thank you for your kindness to me personally and to all of the others who have learned from you. And we really thank you for your leadership.
Let me say thank you to Peoria Magazines, which I have not done yet. You play a critical role within the community from an information standpoint. And we love partnering with you and we will continue to do that, whether it's regarding the duck race, which is a tremendous grassroots effort that Congressman LaHood mentioned, or whether it's just to inform people of our other services that are available. So thank you for this recognition. Means so much to me. And I have not drank anything today to avoid having an overflow of tears. So I am deeply gratified by being a part of this. And I was going to show my award, but here it is. Okay, let me share this with everybody. Yes. Really special to have this. So thank you to you and Jan and May and everybody that was involved.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Carol. I want to thank the rest of our team and Adam and Amy as well, and Jan and May for helping us work through all of the technical issues on this event. It's not easy to pull all of this together. We want to thank you all for tuning in and celebrating the great Carol Merna as our 2020 40 Leaders Alumnus of the Year. And don't forget, we are currently accepting nominations for this year's class of 40 Leaders Under 40. The deadline is coming up next Friday, September 4th at 5:00 p.m. So get your nominations in. Visit us online at peoriamagazines.com. Have a great evening and good night.